Now off to our next segment, Goencho Balcão. As you can see the balcony behind me. What we're going to do here is today we're going to talk about the online math tutoring under the GCO, the Go and Charitable Organization, which is the charity arm of a community. As you know, the GCO has been involved in various charitable activities over the Christmas holidays. We, in fact, participated in the toy drive, the Salvation CTTV's and Salvation Army toy drive, and we donated over 100 toys for the less fortunate and a $5,000 check. And our president of GCO, Kevin Pereira, and Vince Fernandez, who leads the community service, were on CTTV News. So that's what a community is being known for, as a strong contributor to the broader fabric. We also donated over 300 pounds of food and non-perishable items to the food bank. And a shout out to the Maharaja, who donated 40 rice bags towards to help the hungry. And to all those who thank you to all those who contributed to both these initiatives. So now, today we're going to talk about the GCO online math tutoring, and we're going to bring on Jude Miranda. But this is more focused on the future of our community, and that's where we need to spend time to grow our community and be a stronger force in the community, where we spend time on the youth and helping build them up and providing them the right support. So besides the math tutoring, we're also looking at youth leadership programs that are going to be being launched in the next couple of months. If we were physically able to do so, we would have been doing this at the community center, but unfortunately, we now have to adapt. So we are doing it in an online mode. And so today's speaker, or today's who we're going to be interviewing, is a contributor to this program, is Jude Miranda, who's a highly motivated, engaging, and accomplished teaching professional with over 35 years of experience working with students at different levels, right from intermediate to senior levels. He's an experienced teacher trainer who uses strong communication skills to develop rapport with staff and students here. And Jude has extensive experience teaching not only math, but he teaches science and chemistry as well. And in his spare time. In fact, Jude recently performed at Casa de GOA a few weeks ago at the community center, and he plays the guitar and sings, and he's an avid biker, not a cyclist like me, but a motorcycle biker. So with no further delay, I'm going to bring on Jude to join us, and give me a second here. Hey, Jude.
Hey, Selvin, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Not bad, not bad.
Well, Jude, welcome to our very own Goencho Balcão. I'm sorry I can't serve you anything from this side of the fence, but if we were in Goa, most probably we would be serving something.
I think the Feni must be missing.
The best I can do is a coffee mug for now. So, anyways, cheers. Jude, great to have you, and thank you for being here with us virtually. I know you are a very busy person, but hey, you know what? It's Friday night, so I'm sure you got some time to relax for the weekend as well. But before we start talking on the GCO math tutoring program, Jude, I'd like to let's hear a bit more about yourself and your journey. This way, the audience gets to know who this Jude Miranda is. So, if you can give us some background.
Sure, Selvin. So I completed my schooling in Goa at St. Brito's High School, Mapsa. And then I went on to graduate through St. Xavier's, also in Mapsa. I then completed my Bachelor's of Education at Nirmala Institute in Panjim. And soon after that, I taught for 15 years at St. Xavier's High School, Mapsa. And during that time, I completed my master's in education, master's in economics, and my master's in philosophy of education, which then took me closer towards getting a professorship at the Goa University. So I served with the Goa University as professor of teacher education for 10 years. And then I suddenly decided, I said to myself, I've seen the educational system here in Goa as well as in India, it's time for me to go out and see some other educational systems. So I chose Canada. And 10 years ago, in 2010, I decided to come down to Canada. I immigrated here. Really speaking, after many, many years at a, not a very young age, what we would term as an immigration age. And but I came here, and I've been in Canada for the last 10 years. So coming into Canada, I came with 25 years of experience in teaching and, well, basically several qualifications.
Awesome. Awesome. So you moved from Goa as a trained teacher, as you said, 10 years ago, and with years of experience, teaching experience, and a couple of degrees, a BSc, a BEd, MEd, an MA, and an MPhil. All these abbreviations, I'm not sure if a couple of degrees is the right word, but this is a long list, Jude. But obviously, you've been studying very hard for a long time. But having said that, if you can elaborate a bit more on your background and your journey as a teacher who came to Canada with foreign credentials, what was it like for you to adapt to the curriculum or to the standards of the boards set up here, the education board set up here? How did you go about that?
Well, I kind of did my homework before coming here, and I knew Canada recognizes the teacher qualifications from India, so that wasn't the problem. Even though Canada recognizes the teacher education qualifications, you have to do some additional qualifications once you come in here. You register with the Ontario College of Teachers, the OCT. In fact, that's where you will find all the members, teacher members present. You cannot teach without being a member of the OCT here in Canada.
Okay.
I've been a high school science, math, and chemistry teacher in Canada now for the past 10 years, Selvin. I've been with the Halton District School Board. Mind you, it was very difficult in the beginning. It took 1 year for any board in Ontario. And let me tell you, I applied to almost every board in Ontario, to about 14 boards. It took about a year for them to call me for an interview. But once I got that interview and I got in, it was just hard work and dedication that brought me to where I am today. Basically, I'm now the IB coordinator, International Baccalaureate coordinator for my school. And I'm also the high-level IB chemistry teacher there.
Nice.
I mean, hard work gets you where you want to be. There's no question about that. It's not only the qualifications and some good luck, of course.
Yeah, combination of all three. I mean, for the secret sauce. But having said that, Jude, being in the teaching field, I mean, obviously we're going through some trying times, especially for schools, especially the current pandemic, which has gone offline to online. It's gone back and forth, and we have hybrid models. When it comes to online schooling, what are your thoughts on the types of challenges for teachers as well as students? Do you think this would have some long-term ramifications for students in particular?
Well, definitely, Selvan. We are actually looking at it happening right now. When we came back to face-to-face teaching in September of 21, the current pandemic and switching to online learning in the last year and a half, that would be before September 2021, has really unfortunately cost our children a huge void in their learning, and the effects of which we are actually able to see with the students coming back to school, struggling with the curriculum, struggling with answering a paper pencil evaluation assessment. This 1.5 year, our children have lost a lot. Teachers and students as well struggled, and really speaking, students lost much of their academic and social skills that they would have got with, interactions in the school. And I just hope that as time goes by, we as teachers will be able to help the children make up for that lost time, Selvin.
Do you think there's going to be an extension to recover for that, or like how does one recover from something like this? Because there's always going to be a lag, all right? I mean, do they have to take extra classes, or
I mean,
how does that work?
I mean, how much of extra classes can you take for a loss of 1.5 years?
True.
It's a very slow process.
Hmm.
Personally, I feel that let's look at academics. I'm teaching grade 11 chemistry, and I know that they have lost half of their grade 9 and the whole grade 10 year almost. And what we are trying to do is try and fit in what has been lost uh, while we are teaching the curriculum. So I'm teaching grade 11 curriculum, but at the same time, I'm also teaching grade 9 and 10 curriculum to make up for
Yeah,
that loss. You see? Yeah. It'll
and I
take time.
and I hope through the GCO online math tutoring they could recover as well from a math perspective. Having said that, talking about the back to school next week, so obviously everybody's back to school next week. Those who are offline, do you feel it's going to be safe and oh, I mean the school environment, is it going to be safe enough for students and teachers given what's happening around us?
To tell you frankly, Selvin, I have always felt very safe in school because the public health mandates that have been, put into schools, I personally feel have been really well followed. One of the biggest mandates was wearing masks. And in high school, I know in elementary school it is difficult, but in high school, most, if not all, students are taking cognizance of these public health mandates. And
Hmm.
I must say, the children are really very mature about keeping distances, having their masks on. And if we follow these mandates, I personally feel the advantages of being in school will definitely outweigh the advantages of losing out on school.
Yeah, I hear you. Definitely. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing my kids get back to school. But having said that, given your journey, Jude, and your extensive teaching experience till date, um, obviously we have a lot of young folks uh, focusing on different career paths. And in your particular case, obviously being a teacher, what advice would you give young aspiring teachers or folks wanting to get into the teaching path, the career path? Is it a path that one should consider?
Well, it's a path that you would like to consider if you have passion for it. That is key. You need to teach with passion and dedication. Besides that, some ingredients would be you need to love your job. If you don't love teaching, you will not be happy teaching. And an unhappy teacher would mean an unhappy student, and we don't want that.
True.
Uh, we know. So some things that teachers need to know, right in the beginning before you go into teaching is, first and foremost, teaching is not a 9 to 5 job, or as we say, it's not an 8 to 3 job. It's a job that starts much before 8 and goes beyond that 3. Think about co-curricular activities. Teachers getting into the teaching profession must know that they will have to organize clubs, sports, coaching camps, and so much more outside the hours required for teaching. And they have to be ready for co-curricular activities. And of course, the most important, of course, is a teacher needs to have patience.
Hmm.
But these are some of the key, I would say, ingredients to being a good teacher.
Great. Thanks, Jude. That was good insights there. And now coming back to the GCO Math online tutoring program, first and foremost, I would like to thank you for volunteering your time, which I know is going to be quite extensive, about 2 hours a week, more than 2 hours, I would say, a week for the next 5 months. This is a commendable amount of dedication on your part. Most of us, someone who's in the business of teaching and has a busy schedule. Some folks may have approached it as in, what is in it for me? What is, what do I get back in return if I was to do something like this for the next 5 months? I'd like to hear what is your motivation in terms of giving back to the community. What's driving your, what's fueling the generosity here?
Selvin, in my life, in my profession of as a teacher, it's never been about the money, ever. My motivation is just that I love teaching, and the greatest satisfaction I would get would be knowing that a student has learned from the guidance or the teachings that I have been able to impart. That is my motivation. Okay, so yeah, and giving 2 hours a week, that is 1 hour for each grade per week for the next 5 months, as we have planned, is nothing. Yeah.
Great. Thank you again for that, Jude. So, now let's talk a bit more on the actual program, the math tutoring that we're going to commence very shortly next month. The registration details are all out. And if you can, Jude, elaborate a bit more and provide some details on this program, how it would, would it be structured, and how would it benefit these kids who will be attending? I think we have already over 10 registrations so far, and which is great. In a couple of days to have so many registrations, but it would be nice to also provide the audience or the folks interested in this program, or the kids who are going to be interested to attend this, as to what are the details of this program, and how would the students benefit from it?
First and foremost, Selvin, I'm really glad that the GCO is the steering vehicle for this program. It's really good for the community, okay, and everybody around. Now, what's the structure? Very simple. I will be tutoring online 2 grades per week. So grade 9 and grade 10 math. Okay, so grade 9 will be the D stream math, which everybody is following in Ontario, and grade 10 will be the academic level math. Now, these are the foundational mathematics skills that the students will need to get to grade 11 and 12. So I do believe grade 10 and grade 9 are important. The entire course will be tutored online. And we will be using the online platforms of Google Meet and Google Classrooms. So everyone who registers, every student who registers will receive an email and be entered into the classroom. And then I will be using Google Meet along with the Jamboard, which is a whiteboard. I'll show it to you, as well as screen share to actually conduct the class. Students will receive their worksheets for the week about 4 to 5 days prior to the learning session. So it gives them a chance to go through what content will be covered on that day, as well as print out the worksheets so they can easily follow the session as it is being taught. Printing is not compulsory, and even attendance is not compulsory. It's just that it's an added help for a student who would like to catch up on certain concepts that they might have not followed in class. Let me share my screen and show you how the environment will be as far as the teaching is concerned. Selvin, is it possible?
Sure. Just before you go there, can I ask if are there any prerequisites for the students to be prepared for a specific session in class?
Not really. In mathematics, my prerequisite is that the student knows how to add.
And have a calculator.
Well, calculators are allowed in schools, but we use calculators for everything else, right? And even adding, we use calculators. And there's a huge talk about the misuse of calculators, which I'll not get into right now, because that is another philosophy of should we have calculators or should we not? But let me show you the environment. Or it's just for all of us to know exactly what's happening. I'm just going to share my screen. Just let me know if you can see this first two problems. I just shared my screen.
There you go.
Can you see?
I can see it now. Yeah.
Okay. So this is our problem 1, and that's problem 2. Solve for variables. So I will be giving these worksheets beforehand for the students.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're going to be doing is solving it. They'll be able to see on their screens how it is solved, and they will solve it on their worksheets simultaneously. So for example, solving for the variable, the unknown, we call it Z, what we would do would be 10 equals Z plus 6. And I would try and isolate Z on one side. So I would remove the 6 from here. And I would also need to remove a 6. But the 10 has a positive sign. It's not written. I would also have to remove a 6 from the left side. If you remember, in the old days, we had a weighing balance. And that is actually our equal to sign. So what we remove from the left side, we remove from the right side. And then negative 6 and positive 10, signs are different. So we subtract, we get 4, and write the sign of the bigger number is equal to Z. And so 4 is equal to Z is the answer. There we are. Now, this kind of an environment will be what the students will see. They will have word problems. For example, calculating the width of a border. So they will be able to actually look and see how how we are able to actually, draw the borders, and they will do it themselves. Okay. So, you know what? It's an interesting world because we have the technology. Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that what a teacher would be doing on the board, I'm doing online over here. So, it's worth it having this technology. Yeah. Let me stop sharing.
Thanks, Jude. That was a lot of information. I got to figure out how Z becomes equals to 4. I may need some classes myself. So one of the questions was, do I have to be in grade 9 or 10 to avail of this math tutoring?
Yeah. So it is advisable that the student who's availing of the grade 9 tutoring is in a grade 9 class and is doing the course. So on the flyer that has been put out on the website, it actually quite it tells you everything about what the requirements are. So a grade 10 student who wants grade 10 tutoring would be in a grade 10 math class. But that being said, I don't mind a grade 10 student coming into tutoring who has already done math earlier just to improve their skills.
Yeah.
This is an online free learning environment. I think personally, students and parents will, make use of it in the best possible way.
Definitely, and I see a lot of value from this to help community, students from our community progress, especially at the early formation ages of, for grade 9 and 10. Now, if a parent had a kid in the IB program, does this math tutoring apply to the IB students as well, or is it just specifically for?
So in most schools in Ontario, the IB program is the diploma program, which is for grade 11 and 12. Okay, so most schools will have a grade 9 and a grade 10 pre-IB program, which really speaking is the same curriculum of the grade 9 and 10 academic program. So yes, it will be useful for IB students as well as Ontario secondary school diploma students going into grade 11 and 12. Yes.
Awesome. So, Jude, once again, thank you for, in advance for your contribution to the community and the help you're going to be providing through this online tutoring. We've pretty much reached the end of our segment for today. If anybody has needs more information, please reach out to Jude Miranda at tutoring@goatoronto.com. It's tutoring@goatoronto.com. And what are the 2 dates? When do we start these classes, Judah, so everybody's aware of?
So we are starting the classes in February for the second semester.
Okay.
So the very first week of February, February 3rd, I'm sorry, I forgot what the flyer is. February 3rd is the last day of the first semester.
Okay.
So immediately the first Monday of February, we will, the first Tuesday of February, we start with grade 9. And the Thursday, we will start with grade 10.
Awesome.
Okay, so putting it up so it will be on the 8th and the 10th of February. So our first grade 9 class will be on the 8th, and the first grade 10 class will be on the 10th of February. It's from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Great. Thank you so much, Jude. Once again, thank you, and we'll be in touch. Until then, stay safe, and all the best in school next week.
Thank you. Thank you
Take
very
care.
much. Bye,
Bye.
Selvin. Bye-bye.